Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at technology and how it impacts our daily lives.
Oh, yeah. How we connect, how we learn, even like managing everyday tasks.
Right, exactly. And you know how to use technology in a smart way, in a responsible way.
Absolutely.
So have you ever thought about the fact that the first phone was invented over 140 years ago?
Wow.
Can you imagine no instant communication?
It's hard to fathom, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I don't even know. How did people even do anything?
It's amazing to think about how far we've come in such a relatively short period of time.
Totally.
Yeah.
And now we can order food with our voice. We can control the thermostat with our voice.
All sorts of amazing conveniences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is there a downside to, relying on technology so much?
Yeah, I think that's a really great question and something we can definitely explore today.
Yeah.
One thing that's always fascinated me is how seamlessly technology has integrated into our lives. We don't even realize half the time how much it's shaping our experiences.
Yeah.
Communication, for example.
Yeah.
From that first clunky telephone to the smartphones we have in our pockets today.
Right.
It's a wild story of innovation,
Right.
But it also raises all sorts of questions about,
Yeah.
what it means for our relationships or attention spans, even our sense of self.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
we've gone from, handwritten letters delivered by a horse-drawn carriage to instant messages that, zip around the globe in a second.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And I wonder, has all this speed actually made our communication better? Has it made it more meaningful?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Think about video calls.
Okay.
I mean, they've been so essential, especially during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Bridging that distance, keeping us connected to loved ones.
Totally.
Platforms like Skype and Zoom and FaceTime have revolutionized how we work, how we learn, how we stay in touch.
Yeah.
But have you ever had that feeling of Zoom fatigue?
Right.
That exhaustion from all the virtual interactions?
Totally. It's too much.
It's it highlights this need for balance with technology,
Right.
Even when it's beneficial, you have to use it mindfully.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And, speaking of feeling overwhelmed, let's talk about social media for a minute.
Okay.
It's become such a major part of how we connect and share information.
It's how we experience the world now in so many ways.
Right. But I don't know about you, but I've definitely struggled with feeling just overwhelmed
Oh, yeah.
by that constant stream of news, opinions, updates.
It's like drinking from a fire hose, right?
It really is. It's just information overload.
And it can be exhausting.
It can be so exhausting.
It's so easy to get sucked into that endless scroll.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly comparing yourself to others, feeling the pressure to present this perfect online persona.
Oh, totally.
And then there's a whole thing about misinformation echo chambers, where you're only seeing stuff that reinforces your existing beliefs. I think it's so crucial to be a critical consumer of information.
Yeah.
Diversify your sources, prioritize your mental well-being, setting boundaries and taking breaks from the digital world.
It's so true. It's all about finding that balance.
Yeah.
Using social media as a tool for good, but not letting it consume us.
Exactly. Using it intentionally.
Right. And, speaking of learning,
Okay.
let's shift gears a little bit and talk about how technology is transforming education.
Love it.
Right. Because the accessibility and flexibility of online learning is pretty amazing.
It's pretty incredible.
Platforms like Khan Academy,
Yeah.
with their personalized learning approach, are really changing how we think about education.
It's opening up so many doors.
It is. They offer so many free courses on so many different subjects and just makes knowledge available to anyone with an internet connection.
It's democratizing knowledge.
Right. And then there's MOCs.
Yeah. Massive open online courses.
Yeah, where people from all over the world can take part in these university-level courses.
Yeah. It's incredible.
I know.
It really is a global classroom.
It is. I've taken a few online courses myself.
Nice.
And it's amazing. You can learn so much from the comfort of your own home.
Exactly.
And I love those personalized language learning apps.
Oh, yeah.
Like Duolingo and Babbel.
It is so much fun.
They make learning a new language fun and engaging.
Yeah, it's like playing a game.
Yeah.
That's a great example of gamification, right?
Yeah.
Using those game-like elements to make learning more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And there's platforms like Dreambox and Smart Sparrow that take personalization even further.
Oh, wow.
Tailoring the learning experience to each student's individual needs.
Wow.
It's exciting to see how technology is pushing the boundaries of education.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that technology is just a tool.
Okay.
It can enhance the learning experience for sure,
Yep.
but it can't replace the guidance and the inspiration and the support that a good teacher provides.
Right. I totally agree. And as much as I love the convenience of online learning,
Yeah.
I do sometimes miss that in-person interaction with teachers and classmates.
It's different energy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like something's missing when you're just staring at a screen.
It's true.
But hey, let's move on to how technology has integrated itself into all of our everyday tasks.
Oh, yeah.
Like we've got online shopping, we've got banking, we've got smart homes.
The list goes on and on.
It's amazing how much we rely on all these tools and these devices, often without even realizing it.
We take it for granted sometimes.
We really do.
You know, it's not just about convenience either.
Okay.
Think about online shopping, for example.
Okay.
It's not just about buying stuff. It's about having access to this global marketplace.
Right.
Discovering new products, supporting small businesses around the world.
Yeah.
Of course, we have to be mindful of the environmental impact of all those deliveries.
Right.
And be careful not to overspend. But the point is, technology has fundamentally changed how we consume goods and services.
Yeah, it really has. I can't even remember the last time I went to a bank.
Oh, me neither.
I do all my banking online now. It's so much easier.
So convenient.
Yeah.
And speaking of convenience, let's talk about those smart home devices that have become so popular. Being able to control your lights and your thermostat with your voice, or having Alexa order groceries for you.
Crazy.
It's like living in the future, but it's important to consider the privacy implications too, you know?
Right, yeah.
Are we sacrificing our privacy for the sake of convenience? That's a conversation worth having.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to be able to tell my smart speaker to play my favorite song,
Yeah.
but it's also a little creepy to think that it's always listening.
Right. It is a little bit Big Brother-ish.
Yeah.
And I think as technology continues to evolve, these ethical considerations are going to become even more important. But for now, let's turn our attention to how technology has revolutionized entertainment. Like streaming services like Netflix and Hulu and Spotify have completely transformed how we watch and listen to things.
They really have.
Remember the days of waiting for your favorite show to air on TV?
Oh, gosh, I know.
Now we have instant access to this massive library of content.
I know. I can't remember the last time I watched cable TV.
I know, me neither.
I stream everything.
Me too.
And speaking of entertainment, let's not forget about gaming.
Yes.
We've gone from simple arcade games to these incredibly immersive interactive experiences on consoles, PCs, even our phones.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
The creativity and innovation in the tech industry is just mind-blowing.
It is.
And it speaks to our human desire to explore, to connect, to be entertained.
Yeah. And it's not just about mindless entertainment either.
Right.
Video games can be really challenging,
Yeah.
requiring strategic thinking and problem-solving skills and even teamwork.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Some games even have educational value,
That's true.
like teaching players about history or science or art.
It's a great point. You know, I think it's about recognizing that technology, even in its most entertaining forms, can have these unexpected benefits.
That's true.
And applications.
This has been an amazing conversation.
It has been.
It feels like we've only just scratched the surface
I know.
of how technology is impacting our lives.
We've just dipped our toes in.
We really have.
But as we go deeper, I think it's crucial to remember that technology is a tool.
Okay.
It can be this incredibly powerful force for good, but it can also be misused.
Yeah,
The key is to use it wisely, responsibly, ethically.
absolutely. I think that's a great place to wrap up part 1 of our deep dive.
Okay.
But stick around. We'll be back after a quick break to explore even more fascinating facets of technology's impact on our lives. So we were just talking about how video games can actually have benefits, right?
Yeah.
Like promoting problem-solving skills and teamwork and things like that.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it kind of ties back to that point we made earlier about technology being a tool,
Oh, okay.
right? It all depends how we use it.
Right.
A hammer can build a house or it can, cause destruction.
Yeah.
It's all about the intent and the skill of the user.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So as we continue our deep dive here, it's not just about, listing all the amazing things technology can do,
Right.
but also about understanding the choices we make as users.
Exactly. I think that's so important. And it brings us to another really fascinating aspect of how technology has woven itself into our lives.
Okay.
The sheer amount of data it generates and collects.
Oh, you mean like all those targeted ads that seem to follow me around the internet?
Exactly.
Sometimes I feel like my phone is listening to my conversations.
Yeah, well, that's a topic for another deep dive.
Okay.
But you're right. The amount of data generated by our online activity,
Yeah.
our smartphone usage, even those smart home devices we talked about,
Right.
it's staggering.
It's a little scary.
It really is. And it raises these really crucial questions about privacy and data security.
Yeah.
Like, who owns this data? How is it being used? Are we sacrificing our privacy for the sake of convenience?
It is a little unsettling to think about. I mean, I love the convenience of online shopping and personalized recommendations,
Yeah.
but I also value my privacy. So is there a way to have both?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Striking that balance between the benefits of this data-driven world
Right.
and protecting individual privacy. It's one of the biggest challenges we face in this technological age.
So how do we navigate this? Like, what can we do as individuals to, like, protect our privacy while still, enjoying the benefits of all this technology?
Yeah, that's where digital literacy comes in, I think.
Okay.
It's so essential to understand how our data is being collected, how it's being used, what rights we have as individuals. We need to be proactive about managing our privacy settings,
Okay.
being mindful of what we share online
Yeah.
and supporting policies that promote data protection and transparency.
So it's not just about being like passive consumers of technology,
Yeah.
but active participants who understand the implications and make informed choices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that actually brings us to another fascinating aspect of technology's impact.
Okay.
Its potential to address some of the world's most pressing problems.
Okay.
Think about how technology is being used to develop renewable energy sources,
Yeah.
create innovative medical treatments, even combat poverty and hunger.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Like, technology can be a force for good in the world.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Not just making our lives easier, but making the world a better place.
Totally.
From AI helping doctors diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately, to online platforms connecting people across the globe and fostering collaboration.
Right.
The possibilities are pretty remarkable.
They are. It's really incredible to think about all that potential. But I also wonder, with all this focus on technological solutions,
Yeah.
are we neglecting the human element?
Oh, that's a good point.
Are we putting too much faith in machines and algorithms to solve problems that really require human empathy and creativity and critical thinking?
I think that's a crucial point. Technology should augment and enhance human capabilities, not replace them.
Right.
It's about finding that synergy, that sweet spot where human ingenuity and technological innovation work together to create a brighter future.
So it's not about humans versus technology.
Right.
It's humans with technology.
Exactly. And that brings us to another important consideration, the digital divide.
Oh, right. The digital divide?
Yeah. While technology has this incredible potential to connect and empower people,
Yeah.
it's crucial to acknowledge that not everyone has equal access.
Right. I've read about that, like how lack of access to technology and the internet can actually exacerbate existing inequalities.
Exactly.
And limit educational and economic opportunities for certain communities.
Right. And bridging that digital divide requires this multifaceted approach.
Right.
Investments in infrastructure, digital literacy programs, and policies that promote affordable access for all.
It sounds like a really complex challenge,
It is.
but one that's really important to address if we want technology to actually benefit everyone.
Absolutely. And it ties back to our earlier conversation about being responsible users of technology, right? It's not just about our individual choices, but also about advocating for a more equitable and inclusive digital world.
I like that. This has been such an eye-opening conversation for me.
Good. I'm glad.
I'm like starting to see technology in a whole new light.
That's great.
Not just as, a bunch of gadgets and apps, but as this powerful force shaping our world in these profound ways.
It's true. And it's a force that's constantly evolving.
Right.
What's remarkable today might be commonplace tomorrow.
Right.
The key is to approach technology with a sense of curiosity and critical thinking and a willingness to adapt and learn.
I love that. Well said. And on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up part 2 of our deep dive.
Okay.
But stay tuned. We'll be back for the final part of our exploration after a quick word from our sponsors.
Welcome back to our deep dive. We were just talking about that digital divide and how important it is to make sure everyone has access to technology.
Yeah, it's so crucial. And it's really tied to the future of education.
Okay.
Like, imagine a world where every student, no matter who they are or where they live, Yeah. Has access to amazing online learning resources, personalized tutoring, a global network of mentors
Oh.
and collaborators.
Mm-hmm.
Technology has the power to completely change education,
You
but
make
only if we can bridge those gaps.
Right. It's a powerful idea. And it makes me think about all the incredible innovation happening in education right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like we talked about gamification earlier.
Right.
But there's also virtual reality, augmented reality AI being used in classrooms.
It's mind-blowing.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's like education is being totally transformed right in front of us.
It's like we're living in the future.
I know.
Like imagine students putting on VR headsets and boom, they're in ancient Rome,
Yo!
experiencing historical events firsthand, or using AR apps to see complex scientific concepts in 3D.
That would be amazing.
It would. And AI tutors can give personalized support and feedback,
Yeah.
helping students learn at their own pace in ways that work best for them.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
I know, right? But it's happening now. It's so cool.
Yeah.
But I do wonder, with all this focus on technology and education,
Yeah.
are we going to lose that human element? Will teachers even be necessary anymore?
That's a great question and a common concern.
Right.
But honestly, I think the role of the teacher becomes even more important in this tech-driven world.
Okay.
Like technology can provide amazing tools and resources,
Yeah.
but it's still the teacher who guides, inspires, mentors the students.
Right.
It's the teacher who fosters critical thinking, creativity, collaboration,
Yeah.
skills that are so essential in this rapidly changing world.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I think there's just something special about that human connection in education.
For sure.
That spark of inspiration between a teacher and a student.
Absolutely. Technology can enhance and enrich that connection.
Right.
But it can never replace it.
Totally.
Yeah.
So as we continue to embrace all these possibilities technology offers,
Yeah.
it's important to remember human connection, empathy, the values that guide us.
I agree.
Technology should be used to make a more just, equitable, and sustainable world.
Well said. And as we wrap up our deep dive today, I want to encourage you to think about how technology is shaping your life.
Okay.
How is it impacting your experiences, your relationships, your understanding of the world? Are you using it intentionally, responsibly? Are you aware of its potential downsides as well as its amazing possibilities?
Those are great questions for us all to think about. Technology is such a big part of our lives now,
It is.
and it's only going to become more so in the future.
Definitely.
The key is to approach it with curiosity, critical thinking, and a commitment to using it for good.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of technology.
My pleasure.
We hope you learned some new things, gained some new perspectives, and we encourage you to keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep shaping the future with technology as your ally.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening.